Get you going so you can get to sleep. Okay, Yud Beit Zion. A dinner that became disqualified and one prepared it in order to hang it around a girl's neck is tameh. And likewise, a seller that became disqualified and one prepared in order to weigh with it, it is tameh. To what degree may a seller become disqualified and it will still be permitted to keep it? Up to 2 dinners. Less than that, it must be cut up, the coin. An ola and a pen and a plummet and weights and curum and a ruler on a writing tablet are tameh. All are unfinished wooden utensils are tameh except for those made from escaro. Rabbi Yehuda says a utensil made of an olive branch is tahor until its sap is removed. A sword, a knife, a dagger, a spear, a hand sickle, a reaping sickle, a trimming scissors, and the scissors of barbers that were separated, they are tameh. Rabbi Yossi says the part closer to the handle is tameh, but the part closer to the hip is tahor. Regarding shears that were separated into 2 parts, Rabbi Yehuda rules them tameh, but the Chachamim rule them tahor. Okay.
All right, now we come into the calligraphon. So you can see the calligraphon is an implement that's got 2 ends.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and all of these things that we're going to see in this Mishnah have got things on both ends of the tool. And in each case, we're going to see calligraphon nitla kappa. If its spoon is removed, tamei mipnei shina, and it's still tamei because it's got the fork end, it's got the
Yeah,
teeth.
right.
Nitla shina tamei mipnei kappa. So both ends independently make it tamei. Mikchol, it's an applicator, a makeup applicator. Shin nitala kaf, it's got a spoon on the one end. If that comes off, it's tamei mipnei zachar because of the zachar is the tip that does the application of makeup. Nitala zachar tamei mipnei kaf, and it's also tamei because of the other end. Machtev, a stylus. So the stylus is, you use for scratching in wax or whatever, and the back of it is flat, allows an eraser to smooth the wax over. Okay, machtev nitala kosev, if the nib was cut off, tamei mipnei mochek, it's still the eraser is still an implement. Nitala mochek tamei mipnei kosev, and vice versa. A zomalistra, so the zomalistra is a kind of a fork, which is used for soup or something like that. Okay, again, nitla kappa, if the spoon comes off, tamei mipnei hamazleg, it's still got a fork on the other end. Nitla mazleg tamei mipnei kappa. Okay, v'chein hashen shel mader, and the same thing applies to the teeth of a tiller. So the tiller over here is over here it's got 2 ends, one end for the prongs and the other end to connect to the plowing equipment. So both of them have got Keilim on both ends. The shear kulan kedei la'asos melachtan. How much is the shear? Enough that there's got to be enough left of it that it can still do the job that it's intended to do. Okay. That was relatively simple. Okay.
The words are quite long. We don't use those words.
Yeah,
today.
we don't use those words, but they're implements that they had in the time of the Mishnah, and this whole Mishnah was just proving the same point, that when you've got a kli that's got 2 implements, one on each end, even if one gets broken off, the other one still keeps the same kli. Charchor is a blade shenifgam. Okay, the blade is damaged. Tamei aji not till rubo. It's still tamei until the majority it comes off. And nishbar makofo tahor. But if its socket broke, then it's tahor. Okay, so let's just see some explanation of this, because until the majority of it is removed. So if the greater part of the body of the blade or its cutting edge is lost, it's not susceptible to tumah, for it's no longer suitable for use. So it's not deemed utensil. It's only the blade that is not susceptible to tumah in this case. The ox goad itself. So this is so just beg your pardon. To go back to the beginning of the comments on 3, our Mishnah refers to the metal blade of a mardeh, of the ox goad, which is a dual-use utensil. Okay, it's got a wooden shaft with a sharp metal point that's implanted at one end to goad the oxen while plowing. Okay, so that's so if that blade gets broken off until the point where it's no longer usable, then it becomes tahor.
Which one is this? This is not the tiller.
No, this is Mishnah Gimel. We're talking about Mishnah Gimel.
Right. No, the first one is.
There's no picture of it here.
Okay.
But there is a picture of the kardom, the axe. Okay.
Right.
See, the axe has got 2 pieces on the head. It's got the the ushaf, which is the broad blade,
Right.
and the base bakwa, which is the splitting blade. Okay, and they each is used for different purposes. So each of these two implements has got a use in its own right, and each one keeps the same kli. However, nishbar makofo, the socket, if the socket piece gets broken, so that it no longer fits onto the handle, then it's a useless implement, because you need the handle to get the momentum to do whatever
Right.
you need to. Okay. Next up comes a fire shovel, a magrefa. So that's for scooping up coals in the fire. And you can see how it's built. There's a spoon there, and there's an igul, a sphere behind it, which I'm not sure why it needs to have that. Let's see, why is the Mishnah doesn't actually say why it needs such a thing. But let's say if the scoop comes off, it's nonetheless tamei mipnei shehi kakurnas. It's still like it can be used as a hammer, because that sphere that's over there is still big and heavy and can be used as a hammer. This is Divrei Rabbi Meir. Chachamim matarin. Chachamim said, what you're talking about? This was never a hammer in the first place. It wasn't designed to be a hammer. So just because it can be you think it can be a hammer now, that's not what it was originally designed for. It's not, so it loses its utility, and it is now tahor.
Okay.
Okay, Megira, a saw. Shenitla shineha achas mi ben time. If every second tooth of a saw is broken off, it's tahor. A saw is no use if it can't cut. Okay. Nishtaya ba melo hasit b'makom echad. However, if all the teeth remain intact, but for the width of a sit, and the sit is basically your thumb to forefinger at their widest point.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the length of a sit. If that much is left in one place, then it's still tameh. Okay. The matzah, the ads, it's kind of like half of the axe that we saw.
Right.
The base bakua, right? It's so the ads is the base bakua. It's just the base bakua part of the axe. Okay. The matzah, an ismail, a scalpel. A mafselas is a plane for smoothing out wood. Makdeach is an auger. Now the auger is like an awl, but it's got a screw thread on it. So you take it and you push it, and it cuts a thread into the wood. Okay, shenifkamu, if they are damaged, they're nonetheless tameh, because they can still be used to some extent. Okay, let's just see if they were damaged. They're tameh, since it's only we're talking about only the body of the damage. If the body got damaged, then it is, but not the blade, then it's still tameh. Okay, nital chisuman, however, if the cutting edge was damaged, that's tahor. And if they got broken in half, they are tameh chutz min hamakdech. They are nonetheless tameh, because they can still be used, except the auger, because the auger, once that part gets broken, you can't make any holes with it anymore. All the others are still useful to some extent, but the auger is not. Rukni is the plain block. Bifnei atzma tahora. Just by itself, if the blade is removed from the plane, the wooden block on its own is just a wooden block. Okay. However, if it's got a blade on it, that's susceptible to tumah even when separated from the wooden blocks, and can be used to smooth the surface of wood. Okay.
Okay.
Let's go to
Yud Gimel.
Yud Gimel.
Regarding the stopper of a barrel that is loose but does not fall off, Rabbi Huda says it protects, but the sages say it does not protect. If its finger hold is sunk into the barrel, where when a sheretz is inside it, the barrel is tameh, and when a sheretz is in the barrel, the food inside its finger hold is tameh. Regarding a ball or a coil of reed grass that were placed over the mouth of a barrel, if one plastered the sides, it has not protected the utensil until he plasters above them and below them. And the same is true for a woven cloth. If the cover was of papyrus or of leather, and one, right? If the cover was papyrus or leather, and one tied it with a cord, then if one plastered the sides, it is protected the utensil. Regarding a barrel that peeled and its pitch remains intact, and similarly contained of fish brine sealed with gypsum or at the rim, Rabbi Huda says they do not protect, but they can come and say they do protect.
Okay,
That was it?
that's it.
Okay, that was short. Okay. All right, and we are up to Midos.
Yep.
Midos, Hey, Aleph.
Mhm.
The entire courtyard was 187 amot in length and 135 in width. From the east to the west, the courtyard measured 187 amot. The area in which Yerushalayim walked measured 11 amos, and the area in which Kohanim walked measured 11 amos. The altar measured 32 amos between the antechamber and the altar. Measured 22 amos. The Hakel measured 100 amos and 11 amos behind the chamber of the ark cover. From the north to the south, the courtyard measured 135 amos, and the ramp and the altar measured 62 amos. From the altar to the rings that were 8 amos, and the area of the rings measured 24 amos. From the rings to the tables was 4 amos. From the tables to the dwarf pillar was 4 amos. From the dwarf pillar to the northern wall of the courtyard was 8 amos, and the remainder was between the ramp and the southern wall of the courtyard and the area of the dwarf pillars. There were 6 chambers in the courtyard, 3 in the north and 3 in the south. Those in the south, the salt chamber, the parva chamber, and the rinsing chamber. The salt chamber where they would put salt for offerings, the parva chamber where they salted hides of kedoshim, and on its roof it was a mikveh for the Kohen Gadol on Yom Kippur. The rinsing chamber there where they would rinse the innards of the kedoshim offerings, and from there a spiral staircase ascended to the roof for the parva chamber. Those in the
No,
north,
that's
the wood
it.
chamber.
That's it. Very good. Yeah, 3 Mishnah is done. That's the chorus.
Yeah. And Bakaros. Okay, hey Dalit. If a Bechor was pursuing him and he kicked it and inflicted a blemish upon it, he may slaughter it on account of it. For all blemishes that can be inflicted by man, shepherds who are Yushalayim and are believed, but shepherds who are Kohanim are not believed. If Shimon Gamliel says he is believed concerning his friend's Bechor, but he is not believed concerning his own. Reb Meir says one who is suspected concerning a thing may neither judge nor testify about it. Cohen is believed to say, I showed this Bechor to an expert in his blemish, and all are believed concerning the blemishes of the Mamasa offering. If a Bechor's eye was blinded, its foreleg cut off, or its hind leg cut off, broken, it may be slaughtered by the decision of 3 laymen. Rabbi Yoshi says even if there are 23, it may not be slaughtered except by the decision of an expert. If one slaughters a Bechor and sells it, and it becomes known that he did not show it to the expert what they ate, and he must return the money to them. And whatever meat they did not eat must be buried, and he must return the money to them. Similarly, if we slaughter a cow and it sells it, and it becomes known that it was a treifa, what they ate, and what they must return the money to them. And whatever meat they did not eat, they return to him, and he must return the money to them. If they sold it to non-Jews or gave it to dogs, they must pay him only the worth of a treifa.
Okay. Sanhedrin.
Okay, Sanhedrin. Okay, base knowledge. He may wage a disciplinary war with the consent of the court of 71. He may break through to make a path for himself, and no one may impede him. The king's path has no limits. All the people plunder and place it before him, and he takes the first portion. Let him not take for himself many wives, only 18. Rabbi Yehuda says he may take for himself even many as long as they do not turn his heart. Reb Shimon says even if she turns his heart, he may not marry her. If so, why does it say let him not take for himself many wives? Even if they are like Abigail, let him not accumulate for himself many horses. Only enough for his chariots, and silver and gold let him not accumulate for himself greatly, only enough to pay his troops. He writes a Torah scroll for himself, and when he goes out to war, he takes it with him. When he returns, he brings it back with him. When he sits in judgment, it is with him. When he reclines, it is before him as it is stated, and it shall be with him, and he shall read it in all the days of his life. No one may ride on his horse, sit on his throne, or use his scepter, and no one may observe him when he takes a haircut, or when he is undressed, or when he is in the bathhouse, as was stated. You shall surely place upon yourselves a king. Do so in a manner that his awe shall be upon you. Okay.
One more.
Right. Monetary cases are judged by 3. Each one chooses one judge, and they both choose another. These are the words of the mayor. However, the comments say that 2 judges chose another. Each can disqualify the judges of the other. They are the words of the mayor. However, the sages say when he proves that they are relatives or ineligible, if they are ineligible experts, they cannot disqualify them, and each one can disqualify the witness of the other. These are the words of the mayor. However, the sages say when he proves that they are relatives or ineligible, and if they are eligible, they cannot disqualify them. All right. One more?
Okay, well, this 3-1 is a long one. It's like this one can pass. Oh, hang on. Is this a copy? I beg your pardon. Maybe it's Enoi Chalaf Poslan. No, that's it. Are you on to Mishnah base already?
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so that's it. Okay. Next up is Sukkah.
Sukkah.
Aleph Gimel.
Okay. Gimel. If one spread a sheet over the stock because of the sun, or beneath it because of the falling leaves, or if one spread it over a four-posted bed, it is invalid. However, one may spread it over a two-posted bed. If one raised it upon a grapevine, a gourd, or an ivy and covered it with stock, it is invalid. But if the stock exceeded them, or if they detached them, it is valid. This is the rule regarding the validity of stock. Whatever is susceptible to contamination or does not grow from the ground, we may not use it for stock. But whatever is not susceptible to contamination and grows from the ground, we may use it for stock. Bundles of straw, bundles of wood, bundles of fresh cane may not be used for stock. And all of these are valid when they are untied, and all of them are valid for the walls.
Okay. And final Mishnah in Uktzin.
It's raining today. I'm glad it's not sitting in the sukkah. Okay, we have Yud base. I know, Gimel Yud base. Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi said, the time will come when the Holy One, blessed is He, will endow each and every righteous person in 310 worlds, as it is stated, to endow with substance those that love me, and I shall fill their treasures. Reb Shimon ben Chafta said, the Holy One, blessed is He, found no vessel to hold the blessing for Israel other than peace. As it is stated, Hashem gives strength to His nation, and Hashem blesses His nation with peace. Okay, Hadran
Alach, Maseches Uktzin, Hadran Alach, Seder Taras, Hadran Alach, Shesha Sedre Mishnah. Isn't that exciting? We just did another.
Where'd you go?
Now we're back to brachas.
Can't find you. What happened to you?
11 base.
I just lost your picture. Oh, because the cat. Oh,
okay. Is the cat standing in front of your screen?
He went across the keyboard.
Yeah.
See if I get it back 1 second. Let me see. Okay, here you are. There you are. Okay. All right, brachas. Aleph. From when does one recite Shema in the evening? From the time when the Kohanim enter to eat of the Truma until the end of the first watch. These are the words of Reb Eliezer, but if we come and say until midnight. Ram Gamil says until the pillar of dawn comes up. It happened that his sons came from a feasting house. They said to him, we did not read Shema. And he said to them, if the pillar of dawn has not come up, you are still obliged to read. And not this alone, but whenever the sages stipulated until midnight, the mitzvah still obtains until the middle pillar of dawn. The burning of the fats and linens may be performed, and the pillar of dawn comes up. And all the offerings that are to be eaten in one day, the period of performing the mitzvah lasts until dawn. If so, why did it come and say till midnight? To keep one far away from transgressions. From when is the Shema read in the morning? When one is able to distinguish between Techelet and white. Rabbi Eliezer says when one can distinguish between Techelet and green, and he finishes until sunrise. Rabbi Yeshua says, for such is the custom of princes to rise at these hours, at 3 hours. Whoever reads from then onwards has not lost, like one who reads the Torah.
Okay, and we're done.
Because I remember not doing Gimel yet. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, great. Now I started going back